Good morning, magandang umaga po. Ito ang programang Bawal ang Pikon. Get it straight with Daniel Razon. Higit na nasa gitna ng mainit na mapagbusising mata ngayon ng publiko ang galaw ng mga mambabatas kaugnay sa pagbalangkas ng Bangsamoro Basic Law dahil po sa malagim na nangyaring engkwentro sa Mamasapano, Maguindanao. Panauhin ko ngayong umaga para sa nato na usapin ang pinuno ng Ad Hoc Committee on Bangsamoro Basic Law sa Kamara. Paano bang makakaapekto ang Mamasapano incident sa pag-usad ng BBL sa Kongreso? Alamin natin and let's call in Cagayan de Oro 2nd District Representative, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Kong, morning. Welcome back, sir.
Magandang umaga, Daniel. Good morning. It's nice to be back in your show.
Yeah, yes, sir. Please, have a seat.
Okay, yes.
And let's get it straight.
Yeah.
Matutuloy pa ba sa palagay mo itong pagbalangkas ng Bangsamoro Basic Law?
Well, the premise there is that we really need a Bangsamoro Basic Law to have lasting peace in Mindanao. But at the same time, the Mamasapano incident has eroded the support of many of our congressmen on this particular measure.
So does that mean yung lasting peace na hinahangad natin hindi magkakaroon ng katuparan? Yun lang ba ang tanging solusyon?
Yes, the point now is that while we are for lasting peace, we want to put in our bill safeguards that instead of getting peace, we might have more problems if there is absolute control by the Bangsamoro government in their area. Especially because of what happened. Ngayon pa nga, hindi pa nga sila in control. Hindi pa wala pang Bangsamoro government doon. Hindi na nga makapasok ang ating mga policemen to carry out a legitimate warrant.
Nang walang clearance
What will happen if they will be now in control of this area? We are not going to call it territory. There's only one Philippine territory, and that is the Philippines, a national territory. So in their area, how much more if they will be in control of their area?
So having said that, how can it be the key to a long and lasting peace if that is the case?
Because first of all, the most important provisions of the BBL are on the powers of government. In this particular case, our proposed law will be able to give them more exclusive powers for education, for health, and for social services. And then there are concurrent powers and there are reserved powers of the national government. Meaning, for the first time in the history of our country, a region is given really full political autonomy to be able to decide on their own how many buildings, how many school buildings they would need, what will be their daycare centers. So all of these are given to them. Secondly, it will also achieve peace because we are not only giving them greater political autonomy, we're giving them also greater fiscal autonomy and financial assistance and financial support.
But that's just on one side, diba?
Yes, that's one side. That is on the base. But these are the meat. Now, the only thing now is that we will make sure that there is no, on the public order and safety issue, on the Bangsamoro police, then that should be very much clarified, that it will be the national government that has full control of the Bangsamoro police force.
But siguro you have heard of the comments from some of the legal luminaries that we have, that they are saying that this is unconstitutional. And until now, that's also the topic of conversation within the legal luminaries. Just recently, I was able to talk to some of them. And sinasabi nila na, kaya hindi naman din dapat na matuloy na yan dahil talaga naman at the end of everything, ano pa rin yan?
We agree with some of the observations of the luminaries. There are certain provisions which are unconstitutional and which we are going to remove. Example of this, Daniel, is the audit. In the bill, it proposes that they will have their own internal audit. They will audit themselves. And so that cannot be done because there's only one National Commission on Audit who has the power to examine all accounts, and so that cannot be done. Second, the COMELEC, in the proposed bill, they have their own commission on elections. That cannot be done because there's only one commission on elections. Our COMELEC national has the exclusive jurisdiction over all elections, including the Bangsamoro election. And the civil service, they have to put up their own civil service board. It cannot be because we have a civil service in the Constitution, only one in the Philippines, no? And the same with human rights. So these are the things we are going to remove. Now, on the other issues about whether there is a parliamentary form and we are unitary, the Congress is given that power by the Constitution to establish the structure of government, which we deem, the Congress will deem, to be more in tune with autonomy. And that is why we have a Bangsamoro Parliament.
So that's going to be something like a parliamentary inside a presidential.
Yes, but this is no conflict because the Constitution gives the power to Congress to establish a structure of government which we believe will be more attuned to devolution and self-government. And that is why that is allowed, because the Constitution allows us to do that. And then the Constitution requires that they will be elected. Yes, the Bangsamoro Parliament will be composed of Parliament members, MPs, members of Parliament, elected from the districts and the party list.
Is that specifically para doon sa autonomous region, or that power goes with the whole government?
No, only because our Constitution, Daniel, only gives 2 autonomous regions under Article 10. Only 2 in the Cordillera and the autonomous Muslim Mindanao, because these 2 areas have a long-standing history of their own culture, their own community ties, their own history, and so therefore the Constitution recognizes this. Pero not for all the country.
Pero hindi lang sila naman ang nasa loob nun, di ba? Dito sa Bangsamoro Basic Law.
Yeah, but in the Bangsamoro Basic Law, in the Bangsamoro area, there will be Christian settlers, of course, and indigenous peoples. So they will also be given the same no discrimination as far as they're concerned.
But with what happened ngayon, at sabi nyo nga, it has eroded this, no?
Yes, marami talagang galit. Ako mismo. After I received reports that fateful Monday, because it happened on a Sunday. Monday morning, we already knew about it. And so, definitely, any Filipino would feel the sadness of our people on what happened to our policemen. And that is something that we all would share. So there's a clamor now, first of all, for justice. That's why we proceed with the BBL, because we cannot go back to war. The alternative, the other thing that can happen if we do not pass the BBL, we go back to square one, we fight. Do we want that to happen? 100,000 people already died since 1972. When it started, billions have been spent to be able of the government for ammunition, guns, which are gone to education and to school building. Millions, about more than 2 million, have been displaced during the war, who have been who are to leave their places. Children not able to study. Are we going to go back to that?
But this is the reality now. This Mamasapano incident happened.
There has to be justice here. In other words, that's why I, as chairman, have called for our government to file multiple charges against those responsible. And the MLF, being a partner for peace, should cooperate with us by identifying the commanders who were there, and then the men who were there, who were also the ones who killed our policemen.
Pero hindi naman nila ibibigay yan. Sinasabi nga nila that they have their own justice system, di ba?
No, it cannot be that. The justice system that they have is only the personal. It is not about the criminal as of this time. There is no criminal jurisdiction that they have.
But
only the Philippines has criminal jurisdiction.
But I suppose you're aware that that's what they're saying.
They have an investigation. But that's not saying that they will. If they will do that, we will be against that. That they will be. Are they going to have a hearing on their own commission? No, it cannot be. They are still Filipinos under the Department of Justice, under our justice system.
But that's the same issue that we are talking about when we are being asked to at least get the clearance before actually going after these criminals na naging ugat
yes, sa ceasefire agreement na rin yan. Pero there was disproportionate use of force. Even if that happened, if they're bound, they're not really supposed to kill our policemen. There are many ways of protocols that if there's somebody who would get in, the first thing is to say, stop muna, who are you? What are you here? You cannot come here. So then they'll be forced to leave. But you do not shoot them immediately. So yun ang ano dyan. There was a a wrong a misapplication of the
How do we
protocol.
resolve these things now? Kasi for certain, hindi naman siguro
Yes.
ninyo ite-tailor fit ang Constitution
Yeah.
para lang magawa yung lahat ng mga nandito sa
Correct.
pinopropose,
Correct,
di ba?
correct.
So it's more on, ito ang i-tailor fit natin sa Constitution,
Correct.
di ba? Not vice
Not
versa.
vice versa. We're not going to make it the Constitution amenable to them. We will make the BBL amenable and be able to comply in consonance with the Constitution. That's correct.
Pero magkakaroon pa ba kayo ng sapat na panahon considering na yung mga nauna pa nga lang, 'di ba? Ang dami na ng mga cheche boreche dito. Pagkatapos ngayon nagkaroon na naman ng panibagong problema and this will cause, kung gusto niyo pa rin talagang i-push ito, magkakos ito ng malaking delay. Considering that there are a lot of investigation body that is now being created.
That's why there should only be one.
That's what I am
There
asking
should only,
now.
and that is why I am with the Speaker Belmonte, has already written to Senate President Drilon that there should only be one and it should be a joint congressional committee.
But
Sa Amerika, ganun ang mangyayari.
But how can you stop the creation of these so many investigating bodies? Before you explain that, sir, we'll pause for a break.